And I've certainly got a fair bit of grief about the amount of money that this bond was putting into sports facilities, both the ball fields and the Bear Den. That's a huge chunk of money going to sports. And that's not our mission. And whatever we do, of course, we're going to get a lot of grief
Well,
from somebody.
well, Margaret, that's why we're in leadership roles.
I'd like to tag on to what Margaret said, because early on you mentioned the previous school board members said now we've got ball fields when we bought the land, but that land wasn't bought as ball field. It's big enough to put ball fields on. It was bought to build a school on. And we have that in the agreement, but I just wanted to make it clear, again, I think all of us know it, that the district has always looked at that land as another school site, with the idea that it was large enough that we could do additional recreation on it. And so I've supported this project because I think it does preserve that school site for us and allows for the additional recreation. But we didn't buy it solely for ball fields. That wouldn't be a decision we would make. So.
Jim?
Well, let's see. I would also like to thank everyone for their hard work and their spirit of cooperation. It's been a good group to work with. I do also agree that the district is in the business of education. And while there is a huge need in the community and a huge desire for additional playfields, in my personal opinion, the school district has adequate play space. We own a football field, a track, tennis courts, 2 soccer fields, baseball field, you name it. And so at the moment, I don't see that as our biggest need. And yet 30% of $10.8 million was allocated to athletics. And that's not what appears in the Constitution. So that's my general sense. But I think we struck, I was not as well prepared. I think we struck a delicate balance between trying to cooperate and meet the needs of the community, at the same time gather community support for renovation of our facilities. And
Tom?
I wanted to throw out another piece, is that, I never have been a big Little League player, baseball player, football player, soccer, all those, sports. When I wanted to go play with my buddies, we just picked up a ball and went to whatever mowed piece of grass there was, and we didn't have to have any.
Why can't they play in the street like that?
I don't know why the kids don't play in the street like I did. I walked to school both ways, uphill. So, but I think the real benefit to Moscow of this facility is having a very centralized location where kids can get out and play. And I think that we all know that we in this country have an increased need for kids to be active and have access to places where they can be active and be safe and build their brains and their bodies so that they can be better learners, or have the opportunity to be better learners. I think that we know that kids who get exposure to the outside, who visit nature centers or play ball or run on tracks or be active, are better citizens, are better educated people. I think we're really helping the people of Moscow by doing this, more than just having a place to sign up on your Babe Ruth League, or playing soccer, playing football, or whatever those specific sports are. I think it's the right thing to do, and even though it feels like we're going off the central focus of education, perhaps, I do think that it's a really good thing for all of us. And this is the second time I've spent a lot of time on this particular piece of property. A bunch of years ago, in my other role with the PCEI, I worked with the school district to help work on that north side of this property. And we delivered, the night before the school district decision on that, we delivered pie boxes with the layout of that property to show how the property could host all of these different uses, including the improved stream, the nature park, ball fields, and someday future school. So I still believe that we have those possibilities with this particular project.
I'd like to go to Eric. Eric wants to say something or something.
I'd like to start with another question.
Okay.
Sorry, Deb, for you.
Sorry.
Back on contingency. Contingency for all the other bond projects outside of the Playfields. What is that value now?
For most of our projects, it's at 8%. For roofs and windows, it's at 5%.
Okay. And the money that we're moving over, is it coming from that those two contingencies?
It would come from projects we are not doing.
The project that you mentioned earlier that we're not
Yes.
doing. Okay. All right. All right. You know, personally, I support the project. I think it meets the mission of the school district, and the respect of what Tom's saying. Looking long term, we're preserving our need or potential need for a new school at that location, and I think contributing to the long-term vision of the city along with the school district.
Okay, you had a point you wanted to make.
Yeah, certainly I can understand the discussion that perhaps this doesn't fit squarely into an educational mission of the school district. However, we have a long history of collaboration between the city and the school district. Our Let's Move initiative was a collaboration initiated by the city, involved the school district, involved issues of healthy eating, active living, ways to try and make our young people, give them opportunities to get in better health, because it does make them better students. You go back to the DARE programs and those sorts of things, school resource officers. All things that are ancillary to maybe the educational mission, but assist in you achieving the environment that you can provide a more quality education to students who are in a better position to learn. So this is just one in the many series of things that we've done in the past and we'll continue to do in the future.
Wayne, I want to get Wayne through it, then I'll come back to you, Greg, here in a second.
Take my city council hat off, and I'll speak as a taxpayer, not only within the city of Moscow, but the Moscow School District. I graduated from Moscow High School. Both our sons graduated from Moscow High School. And, you know, Jim, you made the comment that you think that that the school district has enough athletic fields right now, but what about 30 years down the road? You know, this is not just for today. This is for the future. This is for a long-term investment on down the road. And Margaret, I agree with you in the fact, and Jim too, that the school board's primary task is education. There's no question about that. But I challenge you in the fact that buildings are not just the only form of education. That's not where education necessarily happens 100% of the time. Athletics is an important part of education also, because it teaches a person about their persona. It teaches them about how to win gracefully and how to lose gracefully. It teaches them about themselves. It builds strength. It builds character. And this is a very important part of the educational process. I know that we're all concerned about where athletics is going today. You know, we take a look at the amount of money that's in professional sports. And now we're talking about in the upper levels in the NCAA that they're going to start paying college kids to play ball. I hope not. But let's get away from that. Let's get back down to the grassroots. Let's get back down to the local level. And what is the importance of athletics within the school district? And I maintain that it is, Margaret and Jim, part of the educational process also.
Greg? I guess I look at this as, you know, this was a project that was voted on by a large majority of our population. And they wanted projects completed. The other thing, so I think we need to move forward on this. The other thing that I look at is, you know, last night we sat in a meeting, the mayor did, Gary, and a few other people, representatives from throughout the district to talk about, alcohol use with, not for college students, but actually awareness and the use at the high school and junior high levels too. This is one of the things that you can use to prevent that, to keep kids busy. I find that a kid that's busy doesn't do these other things as much. So, I look at this that way. The other thing I look at is I never use the term extracurricular. I use co-curricular because I see it as a part of our program. We have PE programs, we have physical fitness, we talk about health, we talk about all these things that we want for our students to be healthy, because a healthy body is a healthy mind. And the other thing I look at is we're designing a program that put in grass, put in parking lots and so forth. At someday we will want to put a school there. We have that footprint there. That's going to come. When we do that, we already have the grass in. We already have a parking lot in. So that's going to help us in that project. It's going to cost a lot less when we build a school there than if we started from scratch. So I still support this program.
Thank you, Greg. John, did you have a comment? It looked like you were wanting to make that.
Well, I'm ready to make a motion if we've had enough discussion.
Margaret?
Okay, was it 9 years ago? We tried to pass a bond to build a new school,
The high school.
renovate schools, and we had a joint meeting like this, somewhat like the city council. Different city council.
But you were the only one that's still there.
Yeah, Dawn was there, but she's not here. I know. It's a whole different crowd of people. But at some point, somebody in the city looked at the school board and said, "You're just like any other developer." Well, the hell we are. And I hope for a better attitude from people in the city if we go ahead with this project. It's this cooperation. It needs to come from both sides. And, since I got through high school before Title IX, I have no character.
I'm there with you, Margaret.
Yeah, so, in spite of my reservations, I do think this would be a very good thing for the city. And, school boards come and go. And so, I'd like to make a motion.
That's the order.
What is there?
What do we now? She can do it.
This is my meeting.
Her meeting too.
I mean, we have two meetings here.
She makes a motion, the school board votes on it, not counselors, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go get a cup of coffee.
It's a very long motion, yeah. So, I will move that the Board of Trustees of Moscow School District number 281 hereby approve the apparent responsive low bid of Gino Construction, approve the negotiation of a contract with Gino Construction to construct the base project plus recommended alternates, dugouts, additional soil conditioner, storage building, bleachers, and east pedestrian plan. Approve the transfer of $123,172. I already paid the quarter. For the Moscow School District Community Playfield Project from other allocated funds deemed as saving within the bond project. And approve amendments to the agreement for the joint development, use, maintenance, and administration of Moscow School District property at Joseph Street to reflect the additional funding obligations of the parties and to extend the term of agreement from 30 to 50 years. Is there anything more I need to put in there? Eric, Jim?
I don't think so.
I think we're...
Is that good?
We'll need a second.
I second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Additional discussion?
Well, while I'm a big fan of community playfields, and I've always voted for all recreational opportunities in the city, compared to Palouse River Drive, this is a steal for $2 million to the city. And we are not that wealthy, the district. That's my only comment.
Is that for or against?
You're going to interpret it as you see that.
As
I suppose it depends on your perspective.
Yes.
We didn't discuss the lengthening of the joint use agreement.
It was
Well, I
achieved.
mean, I know it's
Yeah,
in the.
we have not you're right.
We
We
haven't
have not
discussed it
discussed
at all.
it.
Is there any discussion along those
Well,
lines?
What would have been the alternate? I mean, if
Well,
we would have stopped
30.
at 30, what would we have done?
yeah. Well, my feeling is that once those fields get built, they won't be there forever. Nobody will remember 30 years from now, 50 years from now. You know, I'd only be 113. So it's possible, but not probable that
I'll be 95, so I'll remember my wife.
some of your young people may see the have to negotiate the change there. To me, it's kind of a moot point.
Me and Eric will remind you.
Any additional comments? I think we're ready to vote then. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed?
Nay.
So the motion passes 3-1, and I'll turn it back over to Demi.
Council?
John?
John, for a moment.
Written? John was going to write, or read one.
John?
Well, I didn't, I'll just come up with one. Actually, I would move that we approve the removal of $369,517 to pick up the quarter from the Hamilton Low Fund and to put it into the construction of the Joseph Street ball fields, and that we also include...
Excuse me, did you mean the Moscow School District Community Playfields?
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant, but I think we all know that for now until forever, they're going to be called the Joseph Street Ball Fields.
MSDCPF.
But you're right, Marty, you're right. The correct terminology should be put in there, not something else. And that the term of the agreement, as far as the maintenance of the fields go, from 30 to 50 years.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion by John Weber and a second by, hang on a second, a second by Tom. Stephanie, did you get that down, the wording on that correct? Okay. Gary?
Yeah, one of the other things that our joint agreement requires is that we approve the contract recommendation to the school board. Now, they've already done it, but our contract does call for that.
I'll amend the motion then to include the approval of the contract upon the school district's approval, which they already did.
No, I'll second the amendment.
Okay, John, so we got an amendment to that.
if we just agree to it and then vote on it.
Yeah, either way.
It's done, it's proper. So we made an amendment motion by Dan and a second by John, and I will start the voting with Wayne.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we had to kind of look around because we had folks in. So that passed 5-0, so
That's
let's...
on the amendment. so-
Right, yep,
On the amendment.
that's on the amendment. Now we'll go on the motion.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Okay, so that passes 5-0. Seems to me, folks, that we've made a deal collectively, and I want to address Margaret here for a minute. Two things, Margaret, that and I'm fully believing in this with this council, certainly from this mayor, is that we work collaboratively, whether it's a community, whether it's the University of Idaho, whether it's a city, whether it's a Chamber of Commerce. And that is something, with me, folks, it's in cement, because guess what? It's a win-win situation for our community when we do that. I'm very much in favor of education. I voted for every single bond that's ever gone through, and I will continue that. Hopefully, Margaret, like you, 50 years from now, I'm going to be 113, and I hope I get a vote yes on a number of these things.
You know, I just got tingles that this happened.
Well, you know, folks,
You got a drawer full of cash.
we've accomplished a lot. I think it's terrific for our community, and this is what collaboration is all about.
That's a lot of things.
No, I'd agree. I've just been here for a few months, but I'll tell you, working with the city, with Mr. Reedner and crew, it's been enjoyable. I can see how this has helped all of our community, our students, and I'm excited. I don't have tingles.
No, tingle, yeah.
I do think, too, that in the agreement, the ARCS Committee is established, which stands for, I can't remember.
Authorized Representative Committee.
Right. And I kind of hope that through the work on that committee with focus mostly on this Playfields project, but we have the opportunity to discuss other potential projects where we can work together, and I think that's a really important
Because we have
venue.
a lot more to do on this.
Yeah, we have a lot more to do.
This bond that we passed a year ago was, well, pathetic, really pathetic, and I hope that things will, improve, and that we show our civic pride in other things as well.
Gary, did you have anything you wanted to
Yeah, I just
add?
want to say, I've been in this position since 1993 when the property was first purchased, and I'm just very pleased that the council and the school board has come together on this project. And as Greg indicated, there are other issues that need to be dealt with, and I think the collaboration and the cooperation between the district and the city will help the community move forward as a whole.
Congratulations.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I think
I'm going to get it out of the
I'm going to adjourn the school board meeting as of now.
And I am going to adjourn the council meeting as such, too. Thank you, everybody.